Page Object Pattern, or POM, is a must-know knowledge for any automation engineer. If you are a QA automation or you're learning and you are going to be automating front-end, which is Selenium tests or Playwright tests or Cypress, Page Object Model is one of the most popular design patterns. And in this video, I'm going to show you what that means. It's very, very straightforward. It's very simple. And it makes our lives a lot easier. Pretty much every framework I design is a page model object, right? POM. So here, this is an example of a framework based on a page object model pattern. This one is in Python, Pytest. And I also have another one, which is Java. You can see it in the name. You can also see it right here. It's a Java. It's a Playwright Java, right? This is a smaller framework that I built preparing for an interview. And this is like a flagship framework that I have over 200 tests. And it makes things a lot easier. So what that means is basically you creating a class, whether you're in Python or Java or JavaScript or anything else you're doing, you create a class that represents a particular page. Let's look at a page that we're going to test. Let's say we're going to test this e-commerce website. The framework I showed you, both of them are for this e-commerce website, a full-blown e-commerce website I use in my all of my trainings. Really easy. I also have videos on how to create this site yourself. So WordPress site, you get access, full access to the backend, to the front end if you run your own instance. Super simple. MySQL, RESTful APIs, and front end like this. So page object pattern is for the front end. When you're testing the backend, you're testing APIs or databases, this pattern is not going to apply. This pattern is specifically for page object, right? It's a page, so it's a front end. So if you have a page like this, we're going to need to write tests for this page, the home page. We're also going to need to write tests for the cart page. If I go to cart, the cart page has its own structure. The checkout page will have its own structure. Right now, there's nothing in the cart. My account page has its own structure, right? So every single page has its own thing. It looks different and you need to interact with it. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a model for each page. So when we start with the homepage, there are things you do on the homepage. What are some of the things you do on the homepage? You click on a product. You click on the drop down to sort. You click on, you get the price displayed, the name displayed. You click on the add to cart. There's different kinds of buttons. There's a button that says select option. There's a badge that shows if something is sale or not. You want to validate those things. You want to interact with it, also validate those things. So we're going to go and create a Python class or a Java class in our code that will interact with this page. There is a huge advantage. I'll talk about the advantages, but it's basically when things change, you only change it in one place without having to touch your tests. Now, when we go to the code, so I'm going to go to VS Code. I just quickly show you the structure I have. The structure doesn't matter. The way you structure your overall framework is not going to matter. Everybody has their own way of structuring. Folders this, folders that, right? Don't matter. What makes it a page object is as long as you have classes that represent each of the pages. So the way I have this particular framework, I have a test folder and I have a source folder. Inside of the test folder, I have a backend, front end, and in the front end, I have tests for each of the different components. Then inside of the source, right, where I have like the helper methods, basically, I have a folder called pages. Inside of the pages, you can see I have files. There's a cart page file, the checkout page file. There's a home page. My account signed in, my account signed out. Because my account looks different when you're signed in, it looks different when you're signed out. So completely different UI. So I have a model for it for each one of them. I have a page model. So when we go to the homepage one, it's just a class, right? It's the class, and inside of the class there is methods. Now, how you implement this, there is a base page, and how do you access the browser, all of that. That is implementation. That's not the pattern. The way you implement it, everybody's going to implement it somewhat differently. But in this case, the way I implemented it, when you have the constructor, basically the first function that runs, you pass in the driver object, which is like the browser to interact with. But that's not really the point of this video. The point of this video is a page object. What makes this class a page object? So in this class, I have a method that says go to the homepage. All it does is just goes to the homepage. I have a method that would click on the first add to cart button. So once it gets to the page, once we get to this page, it's just going to go click on the first one. It doesn't know what product it is, but it's just the first add to cart. We'll click it. This will be useful in like generic tests. Then we have another function that's for the second one, another function for the third one. We have a function that gets the price of the first product. So the first product right here is $15. It's great. We have a method to interact with that. and so on. Make sure that get the displayed heading. If you search for a product and there's nothing, get the error message, right? Everything you would do with that page, you will write it in this page object. So this page object has everything related to interacting with the page. Now when we go to a test, now let's look at this. I have it open here, but I'll show you. I'm going to go to tests, front end, end to end, and test end to end as guest user, end to end checkout as guest user. So now what we want to test here is we want to test a checkout flow. A guest user comes to the page, add item to the cart, and checks out. So we don't have to write that logic here, right? Once we go to the home page, we don't have to write the logic, the Selenium logic or the Playwright logic. In this particular case, it's Selenium. To interact with that page, we're just going to use that page object. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create an object from that page object. You will see here the pages are imported, right? We import home page, we import the header. I'll talk about the header because it's the same on every page, so it has its own object. So we import the cart page, the checkout page, and the order confirmation page or order received page, right? We import all of those. Then in our test, we create an object. So I create a homepage object, and when I want to go to a homepage, I just call this method. Now, if the URL changes, I don't have to change my test. I will only change it once in the configuration, which happens a lot because you want to run your test in dev environment, in staging environment, in test environment, which has different URLs. In that case, you're going to manage it with configuration. You don't have to touch the code. But if a locator changes, you're going to go just change the page object, and every test that interacts with that page automatically gets updated. Okay, so here I have an object for the home page. On that home page, I'm going to call the method go to the home page. On the home page object, I'm going to say click on add to cart, and we're going to wait for the cart to be updated, and that one is a different object, the header object, and so on. Then once we go to the cart page, once we are on the cart page, then we're going to interact with the cart. If we look at the page object for cart, now we're going to come here, we're going to look at cart page. So we look at the cart page object. Let's look at what the cart page looks like. I'm just going to add one item to the cart, and I'm going to go to view cart. All right, once we get to this cart, we need to interact with this page. This page has the product, it has the quantity, it has a coupon field, it has the total price and everything, and we want to interact with that. We want to input a coupon, we want to verify the correct amount, we want to test adding quantity and things like that. So when we go to our pages, cart page, we can see that we have a class for cart page, and we have a bunch of functions that are specific for that cart page, right? Verify we are on the cart page. For the first thing we should do is probably verify we are on that page. We can say get all products in the cart. We can say click on the apply coupon, input a coupon code, click on the apply coupon code, and things like that. Basically anything you would do on that page. So the fact that we took a page, we created a class for it, that makes it the pattern. We follow on that pattern, the page object pattern. So for every page, there's a class. That's really all you need to know, right? The implementation is a whole different story. Let's see. This is still the Pytest one. This is the Java project. When we look at the Java project, it's the same thing. I only have a homepage.java here. I don't have, this is a very lightweight framework, so I don't have all the pages. But it's the same idea here. We have the homepage, and inside of the homepage, we literally have methods that deal with that particular homepage, that interact with that homepage. So in summary, all this is you basically take every single page and you create a class that has methods or functions to interact with that page. And when we have something in common, so if we look at this header section here, no matter what page I'm in, it's the same thing, right? So I don't want to put methods to interact with that on every page. I go in the homepage class, I'll write functions to interact with the header. I go to the cart class, it's the same header, so I'm going to have to write the same functions, the same on and on. So that doesn't make no sense. So I create a component. So I create an object just for the header, because the same header is all over the place. All pages have the same header. So that will be another object. That will be another class. So in my code here, in my Python framework, I have header. So anything that has to do with the header, it has its own class, right? That's just a little tip on the side. You don't want, if the same object or component repeats on every page, you could just create one for it. So that's pretty much what a page object pattern is. It's one of the most popular patterns. And if you are like working on building frameworks or learning automation, make sure whatever training you're going to take, it has page object pattern. All my courses, my Selenium course, my Selenium course is the main course I have so far for automation, right? I'm going to create Playwright and everything, but all the frameworks I build are page objects. Okay, so check that out. All my courses and everything will be in the description. I have a membership. It's totally free for the first month. You get access to all automation courses, like 10 plus automation courses to become a state. Includes Docker and Jenkins and all of that. And if you're just getting started, I have a completely free software testing fundamentals course. That's like 14 plus hours focused on API testing and SQL and things like that. More on the manual side. But check it out. Totally free. You got nothing to lose. So it's all in the description. Everything you need in the description. Always reach out to me. I'm very happy to help. My name is Admas Kung Fu and I run supersqa.com. I'll see you on the next one.